season 14 of the Tilton Talk Show, sponsored by AMG Logistics. And on this evening's show, we are joined by
Claire Giblin.
Good evening.
Craig Courtney.
Good evening all, we're back.
Mark Adams.
Evening all.
Chairman Alan Watson.
Good evening, one and all.
And last but by no means least, Chris Browne.
Good evening.
So there we have it then. The first game of the season is done. It finished in a 1-1 draw. I personally felt like we got out of jail in the end, if I'm honest. We didn't look like scoring really in open play. And obviously we get the penalty. I know we put a bit of pressure on when Keshi Anderson came on and changed the game a little bit. But, you know, we've got to be patient, I think. You know, give them time to gel. There's a lot of new players there playing at St Andrews for the first time. And obviously the players that were here last season have obviously just been relegated. And despite all the positivity in the club, do we think... Craig, I'll come to you first. Do you think, you know, that there still might be a bit of relegation hangovers going on in the squad, possibly with the players that were here last season?
I don't know about the squad. I mean, the one thing I would say was, it was to go to the stadium. I was there early. Was there from, you know, smack on 3 o'clock. But to get the fans the way that they were and the atmosphere outside that ground, forget a relegation. It was as though we'd been promoted. He was back to the time of the Premier League days. That was the positivity and the feeling around was massive. I think from the players' perspective, I said it on the radio afterwards. They tried too hard. I mean, Laird for me had the beating of their player every single time down that week. Yeah, and he beat him, and then he'd have to cut in before he was thinking about crossing the ball, and then he'd lose it. So he was just trying too hard, as I think a few of them were. But it's also worth, you know, factoring in that midfield hasn't played together throughout pre-season. That midfield hasn't been together. So Leonard coming in the way that he did as the replacement for JJ and looking like that will be the future. If reports be true, JJ's on his way for an initial 4 million. Is what's being put out there, plus add-ons. So if that's the case, they need a little bit of time to gel. Yeah. And you don't I gauge nothing after the first game. No. Reading, I'll give them the due and some credit, because Reading did push us really hard in that first half. They broke us down. They didn't give us the time that we wanted on the ball. But the thing was, I'd said it throughout, there was no way that they could maintain those energy levels throughout 90 minutes. And that showed from about 65 onwards. They were on the backs. You know, how many players went down with cramp? How many players were just like lagging behind every time we went forwards? And, you know, if we'd have played another 5 minutes, we'd have won the game. It was simple as that. We were, I don't think it's to say we got out of jail. Yes. You know, we didn't play to the best that we could. But it was nice to see a team who, number one, had 70+% possession. I think I saw 75% possession. All right, when's the last time we can say we saw that from that team? We saw defence that at times, okay, looked a bit lackadaisy, but then at others was solid. Bielik, I thought, was absolutely phenomenal in there. And I thought the midfield, they did well until, you know, we had to make those few changes because I think they became a bit leggy. But again, the people we brought on, Hansen, wow, that guy's got to start a game. You know, Dembele had his chance. Dembele, for me, was very poor in comparison to what I've seen in pre-season. But again, judge nothing from pre-season. And now, on to tomorrow night, where if it was me, I'd play the same team. I want them to gel. I know there'll be changes, but I'd love to see them play the same team to give them an opportunity to get together.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, for me, I was the same as you, Craig. I was in the stadium early. It was actually an emotional day for me. You know, my daughter's first ever game as a season ticket holder, which was really special. And unfortunately, my dad couldn't be there. He had a chest infection, but he's all good now. But unfortunately, he wasn't quite well enough to come to the game on Saturday. So it was just me and my daughter. We got there nice and early. I used the business called the Big Parking, the new partnership of you know, Birmingham City for parking as well. And we parked in Wincliffe Primary School and walked down, and, you know, big up to them as well, because I got to the wrong entrance of the school. I was supposed to be around the other side, and traffic was building, and the guy on the attendant on the car park, you know, he just, I just had a word with him. I just said, look, if I go back out there now, it's probably going to take me another 45 minutes to get around the other side. And he just kindly let me in and park there, So, big up to him and shout out to him as well. I sampled the Cruz Campo beer for the first time. I've got to say, not my favourite I've ever had. It went flat quite quickly. That was my personal opinion on it. I don't know what others are, but that was my personal opinion on it. And again, it's probably going through teething problems, isn't it? Everything's brand new that they're pouring it in that box-to-box bar. So, I'll give it the benefit of the doubt and try it again. But, having a wife that works in the pub trade, I have heard the name before, but I'd never tried it before. But she said I'd really like it. And, yeah, I was really big, I was really building it up. And then when I tried it, I was like, oh, I'm not sure about this. But yeah, in general, though, the box-to-box bar, the amphitheatre that's being built, the shop, it's just all breathtaking, isn't it, Claire? I mean, what are your thoughts from where we were like a couple of years ago with the stadium, 75% of it closed to where we are now? If you'd have told us that 2 years ago, we'd have probably laughed, wouldn't we?
Yeah, I just think that, I went to the shop today and it was just incredible just to see the space that they've managed to get from just knocking a few walls down. I mean, I went into the Globe and Ball and I couldn't believe it because I was trying to repicture what it did look like, and I was like, all that space so people can sit inside. I mean, I met up with Craig before the game and I've never seen it like that 2 hours before, wasn't it, Craig, or something like that? Yeah. And literally it was heaving. And it was nice because some people went into the ground because that's what they wanted to do. And I just think that the one thing for me would be at half time, I mean, the Tilton, you can't move upstairs. No. And it's just a shame that, obviously, if you don't want an alcoholic drink, it's really hard to not get what a drink as such because of the queues. But I think it's all new, isn't it? And I think that everyone needs to understand that there are going to be teething problems. There are going to be times when actually we need to be a little bit patient. I think because it's all come really, really quick, we're now expecting more. My advice would be, I'd love the club to, at half time, whenever we go to an away game, they've got drinks ready for people. They're literally pouring them and literally got them go. And I think we need to start. It's just building on it. But I think we played quite well in. I think you can't play Dembele and Miyoshi because they're too lightweight. You need either Miyoshi and then Hansen on the other side, or it needs to be changed. I thought Anderson was fantastic when he came on.
Yeah, brilliant.
Anderson needs to play more often as well. He's built for this level.
Yeah.
I mean, was he injured when he came off? Because he looked a little bit lackluster. But I think, I agree with the Laird comment, obviously, favourite player, but just get the ball into the box because it could go anywhere. And especially with Alfie May, you've got somebody in the box who's like a force out who, if it's going to land to him, he's more likely going to score. So I just think that there's little teething problems here and there, but we'll keep going and it's only going to get better. And the fact that in a few years' time, we're moving anyway, I can't believe it, all that's changed. So really pleased with it.
Some of all the hospitality lounges as well just looks phenomenal as well. Absolutely incredible. The sponsors lounge and all the other Garrison and all the other ones that they've done as well are just incredible. And I've got to say as well, a massive improvement as well for me personally on the pre-match music as well with the DJ. I thought that was brilliant. And I thought Welcome to the Jungle was great as well, wasn't it, Mark?
Absolutely perfect. Yeah, I was going to say Welcome to the Jungle. I don't think anyone really mentioned that, leading up to the game, but to put that on was perfect. Hope they keep it. I mean, leading up to the game, like everyone else, I just couldn't got up early. I couldn't wait to get there early. Got there, had a good look around a couple of hours before kickoff. Like I say, it was like being in the Premier League. It was. I mean, we were buzzing last season. If before the first game,
and the season before.
Yeah, but this was in a weird way. It's like a new ground. It was like, wow, it's just taste of the future sort of thing. Yeah, it was good to see. I mean, I got my digital season ticket, but I wanted to, because I got early, there wasn't much of a queue, and I wanted to pick up my plastic one as well, so I liked both. And fair play to Jeremy Dale. He was in there, helping dish them out and sort of organising everyone, so fair play to him.
For me, sorry, Mark. For me, I couldn't get in with my phone with the digital ticket. It wouldn't accept
Oh,
that.
can you?
But it only accepted the card. Yeah, I could only get in with the
Have you
card.
got both as well?
Yeah. I tried.
Yeah,
I tried the digital ticket. No, that wasn't letting me in. And then I had to
Yeah.
get the actual physical card out and to let us in. Yeah, my daughter had the same problem as well as me.
Yeah, but like I say, I was a bit due. I thought, oh no, here we go. Is mine going to work? Because I know for the Rangers friendly, I went mum and dad, and my dad couldn't get in. He missed like the first 10 minutes. But anyway, that's all teething. Like I say, it's teething problems. I love the new self serve. I think that was brilliant. Just you know, go and choose what you want and go and pick it up. It's like being in Argos. And then game wise, I just thought I think we looked nervous.
Yeah, we did. But we'll give them the benefit of the doubt. You know,
I mean, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, Paul. I was going to say Alfie May hit it on the head, didn't he? He admitted he was nervous. He said, "I've never played in front of a crowd like that, and I have to pinch myself."
Exactly.
I mean, I loved it. I mean, straight away, I think he's going to be a real favourite. I think he's a blue sort of player, isn't he, mate? He just, you know, he runs about. I think a lot of them had off games, like said to a blue in the face about Laird. I think his decision making was terrible at times. But a few of them were off. You know, a few of them were off. I mean, Miyoshi had a poor game. I think Pike had a poor game. Bielik, now you expect him to finish a game with cuts and bruises because he's just an absolute warrior, and I'm so glad he's staying.
I've got to say as well, Mark, I was impressed with Cochrane at left back. I thought he was really good. I mean, you know, I was getting Martin Granger vibes off him a little bit. I'm not saying he's good. I'm not saying he's anywhere near as good after one game, obviously. But,
no.
Yeah. Go on, Al.
Go on, Al.
I go back to this, you know, weeks and weeks of preparation, and we start with a midfield that has never played together before. Why did we play JJ in all the lead up games when he wasn't going to play? And added to that, the other bloke that was getting, you know, being positive in the warm up games got injured. So there's another one, and we put on a bloke for him who hadn't played at all, hadn't even kicked a ball in for us. So I sort of, I'd say I got worried then. I'm thinking we're a goal down, and we're playing a new team all of a sudden. But fair play to I suppose I was happy in the end that the effort that they put in and the blokes that did come on put the effort in, and we you know, that penalty I've seen them given, I've seen them not given. I think it was right, but you know, you can't rely on those. You know, 50-50. You know, sometimes they get given, sometimes they don't. So there's an element of luck in there. But at the end of the, I mean, anybody who read any of my tweets during the game must have thought it was crackers. But that's how it affects me. You know, I'm sitting here in my bedroom on my own, screaming at the telly, and thinking, what the bloody hell's going on? And then, by the time it finished, we looked like a decent side again. It wasn't perfect by any means, but you know, we were a lot better than in the last half hour. But that's no good. You've got to better the sides up. You know, 2-0 at half time minimum. That's what you need to be, and that didn't happen. That didn't happen Saturday, but it will. Yeah. I'd back them to win on Saturday because they'll have a bit more room. You know, Wickham have got to come out, and they won't chase us around the pitch. I mean, Reading did it for an hour, and then they went. You know, the old jelly legs turned on, and they stopped pressing us all up the pitch, and that's when we came into the game. Just thinking about Cochrane and Hansen, they got too close together in the second half. Basically, the bloke that was marking Cochrane was level with Hansen, and the bloke marking Hansen was behind him. So every time he passed the ball to Hansen had then got two blokes on him, where Cochrane should have been drawing the one bloke towards him and then passing, so the guys only got one to take on. And they didn't get that. They didn't get that together until, well, nearly the end of the match, really. and that's something that they need to work on. I mean, on the other side, there just gets the ball, sticks his head down, and goes. Well, that's fair enough, but he must. He made some wonderful 1-2s with Miyoshi in the first half, and then ran the ball out. You know, they played really clever 1-2s, and they never got across in at all. You know, not even what I used to call the old Louis Dunner, which is the one that it's the first defender's legs, and the Ricky Otto, which it's Rosette, and he was both in one. You know, he never got it right, did he? He never found anybody.
No, some early comments coming in on the shout box. So Nigel Man loved the screens, and so do I, Nigel. Yeah, I thought the screens were great. I think at the moment, I've seen somewhere or someone's told me that they haven't got live footage on them just yet. They're still a work in progress, so they're not quite finished yet, are they? So which is why we had advertisement on there.
The update on that is the fact that the infrastructure's being built. It's there, but I think they found a few teething problems when it was put out there. So rather than deliver something that's half whack, they want to fix it, make sure it's right, and then deliver it. But believe that everybody is working, you know, at a 1,000% to get that ready for the next home game. So I think we'll see some differences with that as we move forward. Yeah,
I think the sound system's going to be a bit different as well, isn't it? Because I think it was Wayne Merrick's there that said that he couldn't hear the music in the Gil Merrick. So I think they're still working on that as well, the new sound system.
Can I have a seat there then, please? If you can't hear the music, can I get it?
I never thought I would get to a day where when you ask for feedback on a game, you get 3 people that say it's too loud. I never ever thought I'd hear that was said, but I have actually had 3 lots of feedback that it was too loud. So they're doing the right thing, but I think you're right, Paul. There's a lot of work still to do, because it's fair to say the player announcements and the halftime interview couldn't really hear it in the Tilton at all. But I think other areas of the ground could hear it nice and clear. So I'll take it probably just testing a few things out before they ramp it up fully. But I mean, just to get in there and actually hear some music without having to worry about a speaker being down on the ground was a huge bonus. And I think
if sorry, Craig, if we were away the first game, all this would have been done.
Indeed.
I think because we were at home, we've had many changes in one go. I don't think there's not one of us that thought everything was going to be ready. So I think people do need to start to just think about how many changes. Now, how many weeks have we got? We've obviously this week we're away. Is it the week after? So we've got a good 2 weeks.
2 away games before the next home.
Yeah. So
we're going to the next
2 or 3 weeks. By that time, everything should be sorted.
We should have been at home we should have been away on Saturday if the fixtures were worked out properly. And I suspect that the club probably thought so too, and were caught out by, suddenly they've got a home game. Well, you know, again, it's not their fault. I exonerate them from that criticism. But you're right. It's if it had been, it was last year, wasn't it? Our first home game was the second game of the year, and I don't remember any problems getting in, out, or anything else. As for the noise, where I sit, it's deafening, and it was deafening last year. You can't speak to the person next to you. It's just impossible. Now, and you've all told me you sit at the other end and you can't hear anything. As for the screens, the one on the Tilton's too far away, can't read that. The one on the Gil Merrick is too much of an angle, and I have great difficulty reading that. The big one on my right hand side, can't see that anyway. So I'm not unhappy.
I think, to put out there as well, the big screen in the corner by the corner flag won't be there for very long.
No, that'll be gone.
Isn't it? That's temporary measure.
I think the sound system's temporary as well, as somebody's mentioned.
Yeah. Quite a lot of people are commenting on playing out from the back as well, and not liking what they're seeing. Now, obviously, everyone knows my thoughts on that from past experiences, but I'm hoping that it's third time lucky, because we've had it with Zola, we've had it with Browne, and now we've got it with Chris Davies, and hopefully it's third time lucky, and hopefully it works better at a lower level. But I'm not a fan. I think one guy just commented there saying, like with Bill Mint, this rubbish playing out from the back is bloody stupid. We ain't Man City, and I do agree with him to a degree, but it's hard to say that after one game because I'm hoping it works. But
what I will say, Paul. Sorry, I think our new keeper looks more comfortable than Ruddy does playing it back, doesn't he?
Yeah,
he looks a lot more comfortable than Ruddy.
It's something you need to teach. It's something that at least Chris Davies has come in and said, "This is what we're going to do." After watching some of the pre-season games, the players do look a bit more comfortable. I've got to admit, I thought Sanderson in pre-season was phenomenal at playing from the back, and I think Biddick calms it down. I do think, though, sometimes you do have to mix it up a little bit. I totally understand why we play from the back, because you draw them out, you draw them towards you to then go. But I do think it's a work in progress, and I think sometimes you just got to launch the ball up. You know, it's like crossing the ball in. I would rather cross the ball in for Williamson to score a header or Jukovic than walk it into the back of the net. So I think it's a work in progress. Does it scare the living daylights out of me, though? Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. It's
the problem was, Paul, that they didn't let us play out from the back. When we finally got, we made 5 or 6 passes, very good looking and all that, and that great football, and we would only be 30 yards from our own goal.
I know.
Whereas we need to do that and be at least close to the halfway line, and then we can. But they was all over us like a cheap suit, and we couldn't get it out quick enough.
No.
When they started to fade and couldn't do it, then we did start to get it out a bit quicker. But then we started lumping it as well. So, you can't. If everybody knows what they're doing, and the commentator on Sky was purring at our football. Oh, look at this! It's wonderful. Everybody knows where they're going to be, and blah blah blah. And they play from the goalie, Sanderson, Bielik, this way, that way, that way, and then suddenly somebody would have the ball 30 or 40 yards from goal. Well, it needs to be 60 or 70 yards from goal at that point. But the commentator on Sky was purring. Oh, look at that! They're like Man City. They aren't they good? But it wasn't. It wasn't effective. And that's the only way to play football is to be effective. If whatever you do, it's got to be effective. When Mr. Laird goes down the right wing and looks exciting, and when everybody gets the crowd on his feet, he's not effective. It's a first defender or overhits it or whatever.
Yeah.
It'll come. We signed a right back today, so he better come because he won't be in the side much longer if you don't.
Competition,
yeah. Right, yeah. And that signing number, I was going to come on to that actually, but before I do, I just want to talk about sadly the loss of Bobby Thompson recently, and obviously the Scarf lady as well, Carol Butcher, we've lost as well.
Yeah.
So,
which Bobby Thompson have we lost?
He's Scottish striker, played for Villa as well.
Oh, that one. Okay.
Yeah.
He was a boy, and I bet I'm the only one that saw him play.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, Al, could you tell us a bit about him when he was a player?
He was Jack the Lad. I mean, he appeared in the News of the World, being pictured with various women and blah 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 blah. He was a bit of a laddo. I saw him. He was a tough nut. He really was. And I actually played against him once, and we had a 50-50 ball, and he come at me and I went at him, and I let him have it. You want it that badly, you can have it. But yes, he was. I wouldn't say he was a top class player by any means, but he was tough. He was more of a striker at the Villa, but when he came to us, him and Ron Wiley sort of came the middle of our midfield, and you didn't want to mess about with Bobby Thompson because you'd find out quickly you could limp very soon. And he was always in the Sunday papers, right. With some bird or other. We don't have them anymore, do we?
No, we don't. No.
But yeah, welcome to the club anyway, Alphonse Stampstead. He signed today, and that's signing number 11 of the summer. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and pretend I know a lot about him. I don't know anything about him. I like a lot of our signings. I like what I saw in Cochrane on Saturday. Williamson before he went off as well. A couple of breaks that we had, showed a decent touch, etc. But it's far too soon to give any opinions on any players we signed, isn't it? But I think the signs are good though, and hopefully we can get another striker in. Obviously, Jay Stansfield is the dream, but are we going to get him? Aren't we going to get him? We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, Claire, what do you thought?
That's dead.
I don't think it's dead.
He's at Stoke today, isn't he? Having a talk with Stoke.
Yeah, I've just seen that. Yeah,
I saw he was in Fulham's squad the other day for a friendly. But Claire, what are your thoughts on the signings so far? And have you heard of many of them?
I've heard of the 2 goalkeepers. I did think Peacock Fowl was a little bit nervous on Saturday, especially the first time he had to try and jump for a ball and he kind of went down a little bit. But at least you've got 2 goalkeepers there who are solid with their feet. Cochrane, never heard of him, but think he's brilliant.
Yeah.
I like the fact that Laird's now got somebody to fight for the position. I think he hasn't had that yet. So I think that will make Laird better. Obviously, I want Laird to play, but if this other bloke's better, then that's fine.
I've never seen so many love hearts being thrown at the pitch.
I know, I've already told him. I told him at the awards, didn't I? I thought Leonard was good. I thought he just calmed it down. Hansen, I think, is a Seb Larson with pace. I think he's brilliant. I think May is going to put. I think I said it on WM the other day. I think he'll get us 30 goals this season easily.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just think it's nice that we're going for players that are quite young and that we don't know of, because obviously it means the scouting's working.
Yeah.
There will be 1 or 2 that don't work. It would just be one of those things. The only thing is 3 and 4 year contracts. If it doesn't work, they're here. And I like the fact that we're leaving some of the loans, so we're not really loaning anybody. So I can't remember his name, Stan.
So we've just signed. Hang on, I'll get it back. He's actually on loan. He's new with
and then we've got the option to buy. So it's like Avery, for example. So we watched him. We didn't want him. See you later, kind of thing. So I think he'll be quite good, because isn't he friends with Williamson or Hansen or one of them? It's like the Japanese Yokoyama. He's friends with Miyoshi as well. So. We'll see how they go. I'm happy. 11 signings. Still think we need some more though.
So just sorry to interrupt. Paul, you was about to say the same as me, I think. So the club have confirmed that Jordan James has left, and he is gone to Stade Rennais for an undisclosed fee. So, as expected, we have lost JJ, but I wish him all the well and all the best. The one thing I will say is, I think the players we've brought in are probably better. Leonard, for me, is and I know we haven't seen too much of him, but I think the calibre in this league, the fact that he was a standout player in the league when he's played there previously, tells us that he can do it. And I think he'll give us that opportunity to move forward. So all the best, JJ, but we've got replacements. They've got to stand up to it now.
I was going to say, Craig, it's not the. I'm not being harsh, and good luck to JJ, but it's not the end of the world, is it?
No.
We've got it covered.
I'll say this now, Mark, at the risk of being shot. But the best football JJ played for us was under Wayne Rooney.
Yeah,
he was, because he added a few goals to his game, didn't he?
Hopefully, he's got an add-on clause. Hopefully, he's got like 25%. If he goes further, hopefully, we've got a bit of money back for him, so I can't see him being the only one going either.
To be honest though, Claire, I think it was a bit of almost like a random club, because nobody expected a French club to come in for. I thought it'd be like a Palace or a Leicester, but that sort of came from nowhere, didn't it?
I think that I don't know whether Blues were trying to get him abroad. I don't know whether that was. It might have been, because I think I think Atalanta wanted him, didn't they? So
Yeah.
I think that they obviously foreign clubs were looking. Maybe that was where he wanted to go. Maybe he didn't want to stay in England. It could have been his own choice. But, you know, could we have got more for him in January? Would it have made a difference? Don't know.
I'll say I've seen Mark Leonard play. It was in the under-21s 18 months ago, and he didn't stand out in that. But there were in that side for Scotland, there were players who were centre forward who got in the World Cup, the Euro squad in the end, was from Liverpool. There was a fullback that was outstanding. He came from Leeds. Now, Leonard was listed as coming from Northampton, and rather than Brighton. And so you look at the programme, and you look at there's one here from Liverpool, there's one here from Leeds, there's one here from Northampton. So you aren't looking at him, you're not picking him out. But
No.
he again, he looked lost for the first half hour, and then as we came into the game, he came into the game, and I think the one thing I'm going to miss about JJ is the fact that he can get the ball and go. He sticks his head down and he goes into the opposition's half at pace, a bit like Gary Gardner used to do. And I didn't see that from anybody other than probably Williamson, who, of course, got carried off. And once he comes, definitely got nobody to do that.
No. But I mean, for me, JJ's best position, and I've heard him say himself in an interview with Blues TV that he prefers to play in the 6 as a deeper midfielder. But in my opinion, he was better in the number 10 when he really played him when he was here. And I know it was a disastrous time for the club, obviously results-wise. But for JJ himself, he actually found a bit of form, didn't he, and scored a few goals.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, good luck to him anyway. Obviously we move on, he moves on, and you obviously hope that in a few years' time, whoever leaves us regrets it, don't you? They look back and think, but they are now, and look where I am. You just never know what's going to happen in the future. Certainly the way our club's going and what the owners' plans are, and if they can pull it off on the field as well. What they're pulling off on the field is Champions League quality, but on the field, obviously, you want us to, obviously take one game at a time, but you never know where it can take you, do you, when your ambitions are high and you've got the resources.
Yeah. One thing that stood out, I don't know what everyone else thinks, what our viewers think, but one thing that stood out for me on Saturday, it didn't feel like a League One. You know what I mean? There wasn't a lot of difference between Reading and like the Prestons and the QPRs of last season.
Yeah.
There's not a big gulf of quality gap, really, I didn't think.
Reading are thereabouts for me, actually, they haven't spent loads, they haven't lost loads though, so the nucleus of their squad is what they had at the back end of last year, and actually they were on a decent run as they got to the end of the season. It was the start of the season that caused the problems. But speaking to that to the Reading fan, the one thing that stood out was, again, poor ownership has put them into the position that they're in at the moment, and it's such a common trend when you think about the teams that are Championship, League One, League Two. Those big teams that suffer are generally because of poor ownership. And when that gets sorted, you see a change in the way that they are. And I think they've got an American consortium that wants to buy them out. So, I hope it does happen for them. But at the end of the day, I don't want it to overtake what's happened with us. And I think you're right. The expectations of our owners, it's not where we are now. You know what I mean? Are they going to be happy with what they saw on Saturday? Okay, we've got a point. They've got to be happy seeing a full house. They'll be happy seeing the fans in terms of the interactions and that happened. They're not going to be happy with what they saw on the pitch. They're going to want to see 1,000 times more than that. Yeah,
and that's the most important thing, isn't it? That's what we're all waiting for. Hopefully, it'll happen in time that we start to get a team that, starts to dominate every game, and you want to dominate every game and win every game if you can, and out of this league comfortably.
Sometimes it's more than football, though. To me, possession doesn't matter to me. It's good to move teams around, but to me, this league, if you watched any League One before, even the League One playoff final last year, and even like the Ipswich team. So when we went to Ipswich, we all noticed they were absolutely massive and they're built. You need to make sure that you match them physically, because like Reading weren't a small team at all.
Okay.
They were big, they were built, and they were quite quick actually. And to be fair, they had some occasions where they were through on goal. And I mean, I think Laird was one of the people who was playing the one guy off onside for the goal.
Onside,
yeah. So I think we need to work on the line as well. But again, it's a brand new. There's so many changes. They've all got to gel. But as soon as these like gel, I think we'll be flying.
Yeah, me too.
I think the ball that went through to their bloke to score was Bielik made a tackle. He was a bit far out, but he made a tackle and it rebounded off somebody else and shot past the lot. Now, certainly Sanderson and Laird were caught out by that, but that was a bit of a fluke. That they were where they thought they should be, not expecting a ball to rebound and basically in the hole that Bielik had just left, there was the bloke. So I think a bit of fortune with that, but again, it's learning what's likely to happen. And I mean, this business is about big players. The week before against the Albion, and when I saw the two teams line up, I thought, goodness me, it's the land of the giants. And we conceded a goal because we lacked a bit of height. Bielik got ball lobbed over his head, and he's our biggest player, to another giant who knocked it in the net. Now, okay, we sorted that out in the end, and Albion didn't trouble us again. But this lot, they had big players all over the pitch and kept muscling us out. Certainly, Mayoshi gets muscled out. He'll skin past one bloke, and another one will just knock him over. And that was noticeable as well, especially sitting here watching on the telly. The number of times that we played a 1-2, somebody got away, looked like they were going to break, bang, on the floor. Referee did nothing, and it went on and on and on. Certainly till past half time before they stopped doing it.
On that, we're talking about refs. Some strange bloke called Mark Meredith's left a message on the message board, and I've got to say,
Yankee Doodle.
The back pass that wasn't a back pass that was most definitely a back pass. What is going on?
Yeah,
when that is not given, and apparently was classed as being accidental. Accidental balls going towards a corner flag. He passed it back. How that referee, but not just the ref, the linesman was that side as well. How neither of them gave it is beyond me.
You think because May pushed him though?
Well, they just
after watching it back, he does look. I mean, I went literally mental because I was like, I don't know how it was, but after watching it back, May kind of pushes him, and then he's about to pass it back, but then he falls over, which seems to be something that they did a lot anyway. Yeah. But who was the referee? Wasn't he like a Premier League referee?
No.
I recognised him. I thought he was quite high up, isn't he? Or Championship one.
I tell you how obvious it was, because when he passed it back and the goalkeeper fell on it, I suddenly thought to myself, it was so obviously a back pass that I didn't think the goalkeeper had actually done anything wrong. I'd forgotten he couldn't pick it up because it was such a... And I thought, hang on a minute, you can't do that. And of course, the game had gone on by then. It was so obvious.
It's very rarely given these days, back passes. It's sort of like giving a blind eye sort of thing.
They put it out to interpretation, don't they? And like you say, Claire, if he'd have touched him and he was falling forwards and that's what knocked the ball back to a goalkeeper, fair enough. But it was a pinpoint pass. It wasn't as though he even tapped it. There was proper force behind it.
Well, May let him pass it back.
Yeah.
Because he ran on to try and get the ball before the keeper. So he gave him although he was close to him, he didn't interfere with him. He just went off.
Welcome to reffing in League One.
Well, he was his name was Will Finney.
Yeah, I'm going to come on to a few YouTube comments as well. So shout out to everyone watching us on YouTube. But Gary Johnson says Blues were a massive letdown when it actually matters again. Still lots of players trying to do much and no end product whatsoever. I'm wondering if this tippy-tappy football will actually work. Yeah, I think that's a fair concern there, Gary. Blues need at least another 2 big nasty strikers because May can't do it all on his own. I totally agree with that as well. 4 million, why do Blues allow their better players to go for ridiculous prices? Absolutely crazy. That's if 4 million is right.
I've heard 8 quoted. I've heard 8 quoted with add-ons.
Right, okay. And Alan
we'll never know, incidentally, on how much was paid. We'll
No,
never
no.
know, because the club don't have to divulge it. And forget the speculation. You know, this is one thing that as fans, we are very, very poor at the moment. And that's we jump on a bandwagon. All right. So something goes wrong, everybody moans. Something goes right, everybody moans. Because we don't know what's true and what's not. And at the end of the day, if the club say it's undisclosed, it's undisclosed. I couldn't care less. He's not a Birmingham player now. I wish him well.
Yeah. Yeah. David Fields saying 1 game doesn't make a season. Absolutely right. And Alan Minnitt's asking you, Alan, did you see Bunny Larkin play?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. He just packed up before I started. I saw Robin Stubbs. Robin Stubbs took his place.
Okay. That's education for us as well, that is. Mike Hill, has anybody noticed the FA has changed laws this season regarding handball? I haven't noticed that. Do we know what those changes are?
Right, okay.
Not aware of that.
If somebody can enlighten us on that, that'd be great.
Yeah. But no, I mean, how good is it just to have football back anyway?
Yeah.
It's been a long old summer, and obviously heartbreak again in the Euros for us, wasn't it? In that final against Spain, and again I was disappointed with that. I thought we were capable of more than what we give on the night, and we just weren't good enough, were we? And the best team won it, throughout the whole tournament and on the night. But I just think with the personnel we've got on that field, we should be offering more, shouldn't we, than what we did.
Yeah, and well done to Lee Carsley as well for becoming the manager. Hopefully you'll do a really, really good job. So we're all behind you.
End of the show.
Yeah.
Segue to that, Claire.
Did anybody else notice that? I mean, I watched half a dozen games live or virtually live over the weekend, and all the highlights of all the games. And at every game, regardless of how many were there seemed to be a massive excitement about, and I just think to myself, well, I mean, if you're like me, I think, glad them Euros are out the way. Let's get back to the proper football. And there was that. I watched. It was a Wimbledon, and I forget who they played now, but they were 2-0 down and they won 4-2, and it was terrific. The crowd were going berserk. It was 3-2 at half time. The crowd were going berserk, and I'm thinking, that's football to me. That's what I want to stand amongst and watch. And it went. I mean, Wrexham was hysterical. Even the Mansfield Barnsley game on Friday night, there was thousands from. I know it's not far away, but there was thousands from Mansfield, and they whooped it up all the game and deserved to win the game. And I that got to me, and I thought, yeah, that it's back, proper football. You can watch as much international football as you like, but it ain't the same. Yes, I want England to win, but they don't entertain me. I mean, Blues didn't entertain me Saturday, but they still got me out of my seat at the end.
I've got to admit, I actually thought it was a really good game. I actually thought we've watched some absolute rubbish over the years. I was entertained. I think getting a point first game of the season, perfectly fine. At least we didn't lose it. If we lost it, I'd understand everybody moaning about it. But a point's a point. That point could be the difference between 100 points. It could be the difference between automatic playoffs.
Yeah.
We went down after not getting a point. So every point's important. And I just think that we need to just, see how it goes. After 10 games is where we need to be. After 10 games, you'll know what's going to happen.
Apparently, we've been very negative, so.
I've got to say, actually, there's some messages on here I do want to read out, because I think there is a mixture in terms of how everybody's feeling. I will say it does seem a bit negative, but we're just stating the facts as they are, because I've got to say, from a positive point of view, there are huge amounts that, we'll come on to in a second, but Nigel's comments of we can't moan, we can't say no money, we can't say no ambition. This club is ruined, laughing face. Because actually, we could be in that position. Do you know what I mean? We could be in dire straits, but we're not. There was one very early doors from Anthony Lloyd who's saying, poor ownership, yet they had a free team. We're just as good with our expensive team. There's a big difference. They've been together for a substantial period of time. We hadn't been together as a team prior to this. So no comparison for me. We've got things to come. Things will change. You judge it, like Claire said, after 10 games.
Yeah, one game's nothing.
That's nothing.
It's ridiculous.
And do you know what? There were some real strange results in all of the leagues. Apart from one, congratulations to Sheffield Wednesday on beating Plymouth 4-0. That was beautiful.
No.
I've got that out of my system now. It's gone.
Well done.
How long did it take Guardiola to win something at Man City and Klopp at Liverpool as well?
Yeah.
Even
Rome wasn't built in a day.
Yeah, even the best of the best, need time as well.
To be honest, Paul, last time we were in this division, 95, I remember we lost the first couple. I think we lost at Orient 2-1. Then I went to the Wickham one. We lost 1-0 till Regis scored. And, I'm glad we didn't have social media back then, because, some of the fans today would have a right meltdown back then.
Yeah.
No, yeah. It's just, it's daft.
Jason Hughes makes a great point, amazed how negative this programme has been, also in the ground Saturday. What's the matter with people? We won the first game last season and got relegated.
The first game last year.
It's the first game, relax. Yeah, he's got a point there. I mean, if we did win, who did we beat last season in the first game? Was it Leeds?
Yeah, but we played the week before. We got 4. We was away and at home, and we got 4 points. Hey,
who did we play the week before?
Championship form, that is.
The QPR's 0-0, isn't it?
We played Swansea. Played Swansea away, 1-1.
It's looking positive. I mean, huge differences, first of all, in the whole infrastructure inside the stadium. Still things to be fixed and still things to be done. So key for all of this is feedback, and the club take on board the feedback. Other positives, for those that attended last Wednesday, thank you, because we had over 250 people turn up to do a litter pick around St Andrews, and it made a massive difference. To see it before and afterwards was fantastic. And it was a mixture of everybody, every colour, every grade, every race, every sexuality. We were all there and all there together as one. And this is at a time when there was absolutely shed loads of hassle going on in the country. And it was great, because we walked around and people came out and thanked us, asked us what we were doing, got involved, wanted to know more about the club, loads of different things. And that's what this club is. It's a community. It's not just about a football club anymore. This is about what goes on around the area. So massive thanks to everybody for that. There was also all the positives around, we didn't get things finished, but we still had so much open and such a difference at the weekend. So, Claire, you've mentioned the ball and globe, right? That is just phenomenal. What a difference to be able to walk in, serve yourself a drink and walk straight back out, not having to queue for ages. A machine that does 2 pints at a time, so you haven't got to worry about somebody pouring your drinks for you. The same goes for the fan park. Not open yet, but will be for the next game. The club shop, what a difference. I've never been down there and had to queue to get into a club shop or even think about it walking around. So all of these things drag in extra revenue, and for every piece of additional revenue, we can go and spend. So this is the future. This is what's to come. And I know there was a lot of feedback on places being busy, but come on, we haven't got half of the stuff open properly yet. So come the next game, will there be as many people potentially in box to box? Might be, but then when the fan park's open, they might be in there. Same outside the stadium. You'll have people wandering about. They might not be there this time. They might be in the fan park. Fair play to the club for happy hours. Right, get people inside the stadium nice and early. 2 things. Got people in. No hassles with tickets. you know, getting through. There were people there to support. Those that had problems digitally could use their cards. All the hassle we had with that, but then their club had people there 9 till 9 last Thursday and Friday, and then after 3 o'clock, despite the fact they said it was only until 3 on Saturday. And it was a great standard of service that we got. So, got to say, huge thanks to everybody that was involved at the club to get what they did over the line. Only more positive things to come. And then also the players. So that would have been tough. That would have really been tough. 27,900. Biggest crowd for, I don't know, it'd be worth actually checking. Maybe somebody on the message board can tell us how long it's been since we've had that size crowd in St Andrews. But the weight of pressure was on their shoulders, and they still got us over the line, still got us a point. And, you know, we didn't walk away with our heads down or anything else. They can only get better. And then that's what I think will happen. But again, going back to the feedback, the club listen. The club watch the show. People are here all the time. We've had feedback ourselves, haven't we, Chris? You know, from people high up in the club. Oh, we know about it. We do listen. Yeah. So pass it on. Use
this very day, Craig.
Yes. Use us as a mechanism. Use us.
I think, Craig, one of my frustrations was that having turned up to the Rangers match when everything was supposed to be this, that, and the other, and it wasn't, you know, I couldn't invite dear Claire a drink because there wasn't time and there was a queue and all that business. And I really, honestly, I was desperate to see the changes, you know, and I would have had all afternoon to look round and whatever, and I couldn't get there. Again, why Sky had got to start them? Why couldn't they start them at 5 o'clock? Could have got home then. But anyway, that's by the by. But I do wait with bated breath to see what the main stand looks like. I suspect there ain't quite as much been going on in there.
Craig, just going back to crowd and revenue. Wayne Merrick made a point. He heard the club was looking at the segregation, 3,000 seats from our old capacity in lost revenue. I got to admit, I mean that doesn't look good. That great big gap, does it? You know, if we could do something about, I don't know what we can do. I don't know if we can do something about the Gil Merrick. You know,
well, you've got to give it all. You've got to. I mean, the Rangers match was one of the features of the game. That gap wasn't there. It was full of Rangers supporters. Now, can we afford to say to give the whole of that area to the opposition, just so it looks nice? You know,
let's make the banner smaller. Can we make the banner smaller? Doesn't the banner take up so many seats? And also, like, no, I don't know, Stevenage, for example, are they going to bring more than 1,000?
Can't we put them upstairs?
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of discussions that have taken place about away fans. So, you know, last season we had people asking us why can't they be in the main stand. We were told as part of the OSC that actually this had been looked at, but it's not a case of not wanting to do it.
Logistics, isn't it?
In the logistics of doing it.
The ground was designed, you know, with the visitors' car park and coach park, for them to come into that area, go into the stand, and go out again and be alongside nobody. And
redesign the ground.
Yeah.
In part of the men's match day, we have spoken about this. It is like with how the fan parks are and everything else, it's the only place you can put them.
It is,
and it helps with the policing and everything else after the game. So there was going to be movement with, like, you know, the thing is, if you put them at the top, you got the worry that are throwing stuff underneath. Like, for example, if you've been to Nottingham Forest, literally you're covered by like a sheet, a canopy, because they can just throw things onto you, and things like that. So I just think,
can't we have a shorter gap, a smaller?
Yeah,
gap?
I'd have a shorter gap. I would, especially against the lower teams that aren't going to bring as many. You should really shorten it, and then we get more. But
going back to when the Villa burnt stadium down, or tried to. After that, the police stipulated there had to be so many rows gap between the visitors and the home. Now, I don't think that's ever been changed. I mean, I think, well, yes, it has been changed, because when we played the Villa the next time, the gap was 10 rows deep, but I think we get away with 5 or 6 now. But you know, you've got a line of stewards standing in a line of seats. What are they standing there for? They're looking pretty. You know, if they're there to keep the fans apart, well, let the fans get a bit closer together. And then if they misbehave, we go back, don't we? It's simple.
Yeah.
Derby, you got 3 seats separating you, and it kicked off there. Do you mean?
Yeah.
We will see changes, definitely, because it is that additional revenue that can come and stuff. And the other thing is the fact, you're right, are we going to see following the likes of what we saw from Reading again in the very near future? Do you know, we might do with some teams, but I don't think, some of the others, they don't even get 4,500 at home. So to think about the fact that they've got 2,500-3,000 seats in St Andrews, are they going to fill them? No. We can only but see, and I'm sure the club will be looking into it, because it is another form of revenue. It's additional money that can come in, and we'd love nothing more than to say a sellout for every single game, wouldn't we? But that's one thing to put out there. We've done it now against Reading. I know the football wasn't pretty, but do you know what? We should do exactly the same against Wigan. And we should do exactly the same the game after, and continue it going, because we've already sold out the away games. We will do with such low attendances, right? We should be doing the same at home as well. And Jason Hughes, loved seeing the animated manager on the sidelines, and he was getting well uptight when the Reading players were taking it in turn to fake cramp. So true, you know what I mean? To see him up there, and he gave it everything.
It comes across really well, doesn't he, in his interviews and that? And I really hope that this is the man now to take us forward. I'm not just talking this season; I'm talking longer term, because we've had more managers now in the last 10, 12 years than what we probably previous 50 years, haven't we? So it really has got to be stable, and we need stability now under, hopefully, Chris Davies for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, hopefully even 10 years. He's young enough, to be here for years and years, and hopefully he will be. But yeah, I mean, Paul Lilly here, if we had gone down without these current owners, I don't think we would have had any improvements, and probably been close to administration. Thank God for these owners, so positive. Yeah,
I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, me too. So
I'm just to be honest, Paul, I'm just glad it was quite bold to get. Nobody really mentioned Chris Davies, did they? I mean, you had the usual suspects, Alex Neil and all the rest, all stick with Rowett. I'm just glad we made a completely bold new move. It was the right thing to do.
Yeah. It was a very right wing appointment. Or left field appointment, isn't it? So we'll see. We'll just see how we go. But yeah, let's see. Like you said earlier, Claire, let's see how we are after 10, 12 games, and hopefully, we'll be gelling and looking pretty at the top. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Did any? I probably didn't see the Sky interview of Chris Davies. The interviewer said something about how well Reading had done and blah 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 blah, and he said, "Well, we were far better than they were. We dominated the game from beginning to end," which isn't quite true. But if you look at the statistics, 73 against 27, and you look at the shots and the pass, we made 650 passes to their 200. So from a statistical point of view, and he's a statistical manager, isn't he? He buys players on the strength of their stats. And he soon shut this commentator up. And then I watched the Rooney interview, and guess what he said? Players aren't good enough. And I'm thinking, you picked him, pal. But he stuck out to me. I mean, I didn't agree with everything he said, but he wasn't going to take any nonsense with anybody. We dominated that game. We were the best team. Yes, we were fortunate to get a point in the end, but we deserved it.
Yeah. I think Pete Taylor.
That G's people up, didn't it? because they probably went down with a bit down in the mouth, and he's praising them.
Yeah, I think our friend Pete Taylor approves. Chris Davies will be a masterstroke appointment. Bookmark this. So I hope you're right, Pete.
Yeah.
And it's his first time as manager as well. We've got to remember that. Do you mean like he's come in, he's the main man? I mean, I'm really happy. I think he's going to be outstanding for us. I hope that I'm right. But, you know, I think everybody's behind him. His first manager in a while that everyone's been behind, and everyone, as soon as he was announced, everyone was like, right, let's do this then. So he's got the pedigree, definitely.
If you haven't listened as well, his interview on Radio WM is phenomenal. He's so
intelligent.
And intelligent, yeah. And I mean,
comes over very professional.
His comment, the one that stood out and just resonates for me, which is great, is plain and simply, if the players do not turn up and they don't do what they're going to do, his words were, it's not the case that they won't play, they won't even train. So he's putting his foot down and setting the stall out around his expectations nice and early, which I love that. And I love the fact that he is G'ing them up and helping people behind, but also he's retained a bunch of experienced people who are the right people. You know, just to get Juki on an extra 12 months is great. The youngsters. And I do believe the youngsters will have a say in a lot of our play across the season. Not just the men's, though. I mean, I've got to shout it out. Tomorrow morning, season tickets for the ladies comes on sale. You know, for those that haven't been down, if you take the last game of last season, 3,000 fans at St Andrews to watch the ladies in their final game of the season. So we can do it, and we can get the people down there. Prices kind of great. £50 for an adult, covering every game, obviously. £30 for seniors. Young adults, 16 to 24, £20 for the season. Juniors, a tenner. You cannot beat those prices. So incredible. Let's get some people down there. Season tickets sale tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock. And, you know, back the ladies when their seasons start. Because, again, we brought in some really good talent. Not just the men, but the ladies have brought in some great talent. And we're looking to push on. So we're on a double promotion this season. So let's help the teams get it over the line. So tomorrow night, then. Let's talk about tomorrow. You know,
just before we do that, can you just do a couple of shout outs? The first one is for the Swiss Blues OCS. They just said hi. John Harbridge, who sadly passed away, 75 years at Blue Nose. Oh, also, the boy in blue on YouTube said, sorry I'm late. We'll have to catch up later. The wife had me do the food shop.
Terrible. Put your foot down next time.
I'm wearing the away shirt at the moment, obviously the new away shirt, but for me, this home shirt we got this season is probably the best we've had for a long time, in my opinion. What are our thoughts on this season's kits, home and away? And what would you give the home shirt out of 10 this season? And what do you think is the best kit we've had since this one?
Wow.
Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, go on, Claire.
Style, as in what it looks like, I think it's an 8 or 9.
Yeah.
The material it's made from, I'll give it a 3 because it pulls.
Oh, wow.
The amount of people that I know that have had to take it back to get a new one has been quite a lot. So it pulls.
Doesn't it go fluffy or something?
No, it pulls. As soon as it touches anything, pulls. I really liked the pure royal blue. So, you know, like the Adidas ones we've had.
Oh, yeah. Gary Monk.
I like it, but yeah. And I do like the white one. And I do like the fact we've got a different green. Yeah, I think it's quite out there. It's quite different. Are we going to get a third shirt, though? And what colour will it be?
Yellow.
I think we'll get a third kit. Agree on the home kit first of all. You know, easily to catch and pull. But I love the style. Got to say, and yeah, the away kit. I know it's not gone down brilliantly with some people, but it's just what we want. You know, it's plain, it's simple, and it's a different colour. So what? But it's still got a Birmingham badge on it, and that's all that matters. But I do think we'll get a third kit.
Be nice to have them all black out.
Yeah, yeah, oh yeah.
I mean, something different, something jazzy. You know, when you see all these other teams have something just that.
Yeah. The new home and away shirts, mainly the home shirt. I was saying I thought it was the best one we've had for a fair few seasons, and I agree with you, Claire. I think it's the best one we've had since. Unfortunately, the season that Gary Wright was sacked and Zola came in. Was that the one, or was it the one after that?
Yeah, like Che Adams. I remember wearing it, like the 888 season.
888 Sport. Yeah. The plain royal blue with the Adidas shirts. Yeah. But yeah, I just want people's scores out of 10 for the quality of this season's home shirt and the way it looks as well.
I think I'll give them both a solid 8. If Craig brought me one, I'll give it a 9.
Yeah,
I only buy things for people that I like, Mark. So it's just
a little tip.
It looks like being an 8 then.
Hold your breath.
Just a little tip for everyone while going away abroad with a blue shirt: don't wear white shirts with sun cream.
Yeah, very yellow with
I am not so keen on the blue shirt, to be honest, but I do like the away strip, and that's a lovely that shade of green. You know what it's called, Paul?
Oh God, it begins with a T, doesn't it?
Black.
Is it Sequoia?
Sequoia.
Oh, is it now?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
I
Irish.
like to call it Sequoia.
It's Irish for black. What colour's your shirt, Claire?
Pardon?
What colour's your shirt?
Black with blue. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. Black. And that's black. She's
Chris,
on my people.
Dave Twine wants to know: have you emptied your bucket of your 50p? Means it all cut off.
I'm just trying to set up a new stream on YouTube for those.
Dom Kavanagh said it's a 5 out of 10 on the new shirt.
I really like it.
Nigel Mann, unfortunately, you can see sauce down my white shirt. So yeah, that's. Mark Meredith wants to know where is the robe. Unfortunately, Mark, he is in the corner. He's just he's
Mark, I said at the beginning, Mark, if I wore a robe, but I'd sweat like a. Well, my cellar'd be stinking.
Does he mean where's your robe, or where are you all together? You can't see at all.
I think
really?
we should be in the all together.
Well, we've worked, Chris. You've worked your magic. You've got rid of robe. Jason Hughes has said that he likes the white jackets that the players wear to come out and warm up in. I've got to say, I agree. Actually, I think
yeah. They're nice. Yeah.
The one thing about the home shirt is, for the girls and women out there, it's a nightmare for makeup having a white collar. Please, Blues, stop making a white collar, because it just gets foundation on it. And it's a nightmare to get on and off.
Is that Craig? A problem, Craig?
Answer me this, Claire, please.
It's horrible. I have to put something over my head to then put my blue shirt on to then take it off so it doesn't get my collar. It's ridiculous.
No, does that. It's normally a bag as he's being taken out of his cell, but he takes that off.
Yeah, I know. It's a nightmare in this weather wearing a potato sack on your head.
Can you let me in on a secret? Why do women footballers wear makeup? And more important, eyelashes that are so long, if they run down the wing, they could trip up. And it's also the Olympics. You've got Americans, particularly, with eyelashes out here, running 11 seconds, whatever, on the 100 meters.
Surely, because they're on TV, Alan. Why do you think I wear makeup to do this show with?
And me?
I don't believe that.
I don't look bright red, and then the eyelashes cost a lot of money to stay on all week, so that's why.
I've seen you in real life now, so don't.
Yeah, my team always leave on a.
He's not in his eye. Did you notice?
No, I'm only short. Thanks, Alan. Don't need to tell anybody.
What else have we got coming through? So Nigel Mann, two comments. First of all, Claire, he said he knows how you feel in terms of the makeup, and it really is an issue. And he's also said that it looks like Mark's been on a diet.
No.
Nah, I've just
given up a bit of gruel. That's what it is. Nothing else.
We're back on YouTube. I'm pleased to say.
Yeah,
he's dieted on a bean.
Yeah. Talking of like big brands, etc. I'm also delighted to say that one of the sort of biggest logos we see around St Andrews on a match day is AMG Logistics, isn't it, Chris? And
He's, yeah.
that was a really. I'm delighted to say that we're now sponsored by Andy Griffiths and AMG Logistics this season, and Andy's going to come on and join us hopefully in a few weeks.
Is that who you work for? Is that who you work for?
No.
No.
I just know Andy obviously through Blues, etc. Sorry, Chris, what did you say?
Sorry, is he a big Blues fan? Is he?
No, he's massive. Yeah. He's in the. Yeah, he's obviously he's got his name on the. I think his name's on the shirts, isn't it, as well at the bottom? Is it at the bottom? No, it's not on the shirt. Is it on the shorts?
I wouldn't know.
I don't know.
He had it on something.
Yeah, but it's round all the.
Saw that. Yeah.
Everywhere. So and yeah, he's a hospitality season ticket holder and has been for years, hasn't he? So I believe. So yeah, I actually bumped into him on Saturday as well. I had a good chat with him. So yeah, really good guy, Andy, and I look forward to him joining us on the show for the first time, hopefully soon in the coming weeks.
Excellent.
But that was a really good coup for us as a show, wasn't it? Getting AMG Logistics to sponsor us.
Brilliant.
Yeah. I'm just thinking, sort of going off tangent for a minute. I'm just thinking, with our 150th anniversary next year, I mean, how nice would it be to actually win some silver?
Is that you, right?
Hey?
You on about yourself or the club?
No, just the robe.
No.
Yeah, it's 150 years since it's been washed.
No. It'd be nice to actually achieve something or win something, a bit of silverware for 150th. It'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Bristol Street Motors Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah, go down to Wembley.
Stay at Wembley for 150 years. And I'm excited about the thought of having a big concert at St Andrews. So I hope and pray that Jeff Lynn's involved. I'm a ELO fan, so yeah, that's exciting as well.
Yeah.
If you're listening, Jeff.
Is that a rumour? Oh, right, I thought starting that rumour.
Rumours? We don't start rumours here. I mean, the 150 year. Good that you raise it, because there is a working group looking at the celebration of the 150 years already. So there is lots and lots going on, as there is across the board with all the different groups actually. So Claire's mentioned the men's experience. There's the ladies' experience as well. That's all part of a working group. There's the history and the 150 year anniversary. So all of these things are attended by fans. And so, therefore, the input goes into this, and it's those things that are picked up now more and more by the club. Something that, I couldn't name the last time that I think we've had not as much say, but actually being listened to in terms of what we do and how it works. So, again, it's a huge positive, and from the club's perspective on that particular front. So long may that continue. But if we got to go back to tomorrow night, so
predictions.
Would you change it up? Would you pick a different side? Would you keep the balance? When I said at the beginning, I'd prefer to keep the same side so that they gel a little bit. But what's everybody else's thoughts? And how do you think we'll get on? Do you think we'll go for it, or do you think we'll just play a few youngsters and just see what happens?
I think we'll always go for it, Craig. I think we'll always go for it, but I do think there'll be changes. I think we'll see Allsop in goal possibly, and we'll see a few changes across the back line maybe as well. And you might see Ramel Donovan down the right possibly. Maybe Keshi Anderson will get a start down the left. Maybe Dukey through the middle, or the new signing that we made the other day as well. Possibly might get his debut. Name escapes me. Sorry, what's his name?
Yeah,
Yeah. So we might see him. Yeah, we might see him up front as well. So yeah, I think there will be changes, but I don't think Chris Davies is the type of guy to send any team out not to try and win the game. I think he's gonna go for it and try and win the game. And a cup run's always good anyway for the club, but our number one priority obviously has to be the league, though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I personally think that where there are two players in contention for one position, then the other player should get a go tomorrow. But where there isn't a replacement, then the bloke should keep his shirt. Don't put a kid in unless he's a genuine contender for the position. And obviously we want Murray Harris to play, and we want the Scotsman to play. What's his name? Forgotten. Leonard. We probably want Anderson to play, and
have we got another Alan? Have we got another left back? Because I'm a bit concerned about Cochrane. We don't want to play him every.
You'd put the other guy,
Buchanan.
but he's injured, isn't he?
Yeah.
Buchanan in, but he's injured, so you can't put a kid in there. That wouldn't be fair. And it's okay. He's injured. There, Cochrane plays. That's going to be the cat. I mean, he's ironically he was bought to cover Buchanan, and now they've swapped places, haven't they?
Yeah. I mean, Buchanan could play back as well, couldn't he?
Yeah.
He could,
Yeah.
Mark
I mean,
and the Austrian, he should go in centre half,
Clara.
probably instead.
I mean, I'd like to go. Like I say, I think he'll change it. I think it'll be 5 or 6 changes, but I think he'll go for it as well. Are we doing predictions there? Is it too early?
Too early.
Okay. I'll tell you in a
What,
bit.
the game or the season?
No, for tomorrow.
All right, okay.
I would change it. I'd bring like Tyler Roberts in and people like that who are on the fringes who might have a point to prove. Or I want to go and win tomorrow. It'll be nice to see an away win, to be honest. I think let's start the away bus rolling and try and get some wins away from home, because that's where we struggle.
We've got 3 on the trot, haven't we?
Yeah, so we've got to start well away. I can't wait.
Can I give my prediction yet?
No.
Yeah.
Go on,
Do whatever you want, Rob.
Charlton will be in red. What's the other side?
I think it'll finish 1-1. I think we'll win on penalties.
Oh, I hope not. I don't want to be stuck in London all night.
Does he go straight to pens? Is there any extra time?
There's no extra time. I don't think, Paul. Straight to pens. I think we'll win 7-6 on pens.
I'll go 2-1 Blues.
I'll go 2-0.
Alfie May's going to for any against.
He's going to bust a gut, isn't he? Yeah.
I want to start the game when I would have thought. Thinking about it. So I think May possibly will start the game and maybe go off after an hour or something.
Yeah.
And I reckon he'll bag a brace against them and we'll beat them 2-1.
I'm going to be slightly cautious and go for a 3-0 win.
I think 2-1 as well.
Alan?
Well, I got a bit of an inside track on Charlton. They did very well Saturday, and they are absolutely gutted that they lost Alfie May. They really are, but they have replaced them with 2 young strikers. And you don't know. I mean, if they think that Birmingham are going to put half a team out, they might suddenly say, "Well, we'll stick a good team out and knock them out."
Yeah.
No, they might equally say, "Well, no, I need to get people in the side that run out." So I fancy. I've been to Charlton from here about 6 times, mainly to see the women. We've lost every time. But yeah, I think we can nick it. I don't, we're still that 1 goal a game team, so I'm going to go 1-0.
I think our best moment at Charlton has to be, in my life anyway, do Gary's flick, innit?
Oh yeah, I was there for that one.
Yeah.
Class goal that was.
I did enjoy Jude Bellingham's goal though.
Oh yeah.
Played right in front of me. That was that was good.
Yeah. Did we win that game, Claire, or did we draw?
Yes, we won 2-0.
We won very rare. One of the very rare away wins.
That was the last one I saw us win. Yeah, and I was in the Charlton Inn.
Yeah.
In a seat with nobody more than 5 seats near me.
Yeah.
It's a decent ground to go to, and it's nice.
It's a nice little ground. They just don't fit it.
No. I mean that. I bought my ticket from them, and the top half of the stadium isn't being sold. You know, my seat's in halfway in the bottom half, and the top half are not being sold. So it ain't going to be a
No.
Yeah, what about Wickham? What do we think about the Wickham game?
Oh, can I give my prediction for that?
No.
Yeah.
I think we're going to win 2-1. Adams Park, isn't it? What's her name? There you go. 2-1.
I'll go.
We better beat them because, try as I might, I cannot get Wickham to sell me a ticket. So I hope they get stuffed.
I mean, they just don't like you.
2-0.
2-0, yeah. I'm saying 2-0, Claire, as well.
I'm saying 2-0 as well.
I'll go with that.
I'll go for it.
Yeah.
Chris, there's been a few
Chris, you want to put
questions.
that? Because if you're right there, you'll be gutted if you haven't put a bet on there. 2-3-0 back to back.
My predictions haven't gone well so far this season. So
get your money on Plymouth not getting 20 points.
No, we just lose with me bets.
Oh, right, okay.
Is Is it too early to give a prediction for the season, or is that just?
What is it with you and prediction?
Taking over the show, you are.
Sorry.
What's the matter with you?
Paul,
Well,
it's taking over your job.
I'm predicting you're staying in prison.
Look at me, everybody.
I think it's difficult. It's hard to predict the season, isn't it? Like we said, until you've seen them for 10, 12 games. There's a lot of players we don't know anything about, really.
Yeah.
You know, and as a manager also that's proven himself, like we said already as well. But yeah, by all means, Mark, carry on.
I think we'll be champions.
Okay, so do I.
Yeah, honestly,
100 points, 100 goals, 30 goals, May.
Yeah, I think we'll win it.
Yeah, we're only going to score 30 goals by May, Claire.
Yeah. I'm happy with 1-0 every week.
That's a lot of 1-0.
Oh, Nigel Mann makes a point. I suppose there's a good chance of a couple of 6-0s this season, isn't there?
Oh, yeah.
Was being asked. So, are you going to stick to your?
Come on, then. Season 14. Go for it.
Season 14. You've heard it, ladies and gents.
Go for it.
Score 6, no matter which game.
Yep.
Stipulate that. Exactly. So it can be the Bristol Street Motors, it can be the League Cup, it could be the League.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, that's a scary thought. Please stick to 5, please, Blues.
It's not
how about if you get 7? What's going to happen then?
Oh, crikey. What else can I do?
We've got to get 6 first, Mark. Dear me.
Sorry. Can I make another prediction?
I've got to say, though, that is some going, mate. 14 seasons on the trot doing this, you know. A big round. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's been a pleasure to be part of it as well for the last 6 seasons. I think this is my 6th season now, isn't it? So, yeah.
Not awful.
Yeah.
There's a lot of predictions coming through. So we've had Dom Kavanagh is saying we're going to have a 1-0 win at Wickham. Nigel Mann is sticking with the 3-0. So they're sticking with you, Chris. What I would say is don't have money on it because Chris isn't. Michael is saying 2-0 Blues against Wickham. We've got Nigel Mann as well with a 2-0 to Blues against Charlton. Dom Kavanagh with a 2-1 to Blues against Charlton. So all very positive. Lilypad saying 2-0 tomorrow. All good. And actually quite a few are saying that Alfie May will play. But some are actually saying that they think he'll only come on for 20 minutes and that Dukey will start the game. So that's an interesting thought.
No, definitely.
Did you say that? Am I allowed back?
No. No. Anybody with the name Mark is banned from this week.
Hang on a minute.
It's easy with only one Mark as well. Whenever I say Mark, I don't get 2 people replying to him.
Yeah, it's much easier, isn't it? Yeah.
I actually sampled.
With no marks.
I actually sampled street food for the first time on Saturday as well. I had chatty patty chicken strips and chips, which was quite.
I say that again.
Yeah, as well.
Chatty patty chicken strips and chips.
He's been practicing that all day. You can tell.
After a few strongbow dart fruits.
What was it like, Paul?
5 times fast each time.
Was it nice?
It was nice, mate. Yeah, it was. It was really nice. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to try some.
Yeah, first time I've ever tried it since it's been there. Yeah, no, don't usually eat at the Blues. I'm usually full before I go, but yeah, because we got there so early this time to have a look round and all that. Half time, my daughter says I'm hungry, and I'm like, oh god, here we go then. So yeah, so out we went. Missed 6 minutes of the. We did miss 6 minutes of the second half though. The start of the first 6 minutes because of queuing and daughter wanted the toilet and all that, you know. But yeah, the queues are.
They've got to get it
right. The queues are long, but it's good. You know, we'd soon moan if there was nobody there, wouldn't we? Mm. We've had that as well, haven't we? I prefer queuing and people being there than not queuing and nobody being there.
Quickly, what do people think about the 5:30 kickoff?
All right, just go wait longer.
Plenty more time for drinking now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my curfew finishes at.
Yeah. Hag starts buzzing, doesn't it?
Yeah. That won't be any good for you. Al, that'll be worse for you, won't it? Al travelling all that way after. You won't be getting into
I just can't get back. No. You know, I'd have to. If it happens, well, I'm going to find a cheap hotel. The one across the road. Was it? It's always full.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
The Formula One round the corner is only about 25 quid a night, I think.
I know, but you can't get in.
I've got a spare room at Craig's.
Still there? Is the Formula One hotel still there around the corner?
I don't think it is anymore. I think
what? It's a DOS house.
There's an Ibis. The Ibis is always full.
Yeah.
And I didn't know till recently that the George taking boarders.
Yeah, they do. Yeah,
But they're always full.
it was full.
Well, actually, the other thing to shout out, if people can't make games, don't forget there is the resale ticketing scheme now, which the club have launched, which I think that it did go down quite well actually at the weekend for those that couldn't get tickets to start off with, and others managed to get them. So another positive that they've launched, and I think there's more to come on that front as well as the season goes by.
Oh, there you go. The George have rooms. Their place is in Cheddar Road, Alan. I don't know. I don't know if it's the right place.
I don't think so.
The Old Crown is £50 in Digbeth. Nice rooms, apparently, says Jason.
Old Crown, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Nice pub that is.
That's
Nice, yeah, it's lovely.
Nigel Man,
Meant to be hooked.
Nigel Man had a Kit Kat at half time on Saturday.
Yes.
They didn't have a Kit Kat from Chatty Patty, did they?
Oh.
Just been a Kitty Catty from Chatty Patty.
Chris, we've done another Bleak kit, haven't we, as the show? So, congratulations to everybody for that, because all your stars and what goes into it, that's helped now with 2 Bleak kits through Tilton Talk, and thanks, Chris, for arranging, because it's
Brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah, it's fantastic. And
thank
you everybody for keep sending us stars during the show, and maybe we'll get another couple of Bleak kits out this season. It'd be great. Fantastic. And we're done. We're done, Paul.
Indeed, yeah. So, we've been the Tilton Talk show. I've been Paul Hipkiss, and it's good night from me, and it's good night from Claire Gibley.
It's good night from me. See you tomorrow on Saturday, and it's good night from Craig Courtney.
And it's good night from me, and all going to plan. I'll be joining you from Mallorca next week for the show, just very briefly. So if we have got any listeners that are out there in Tacoma at the same time, give me a shout, and we'll get together in a pub, and we'll do the show from there.
Don't wear a white shirt. Don't wear your new shirt with sun cream.
No, well, I haven't bought the white one. Save that for later. When the tan comes out, it's even better.
Even the home one's got plenty of white in it, mate.
That's a good point around the collar. Yeah, keep that one back. So, and it's a good night from, well, really, I should do it, but I'm not going to. So it's a good night from the chairman rather than Mark Adams. He can go last.
Good night, everybody. And it's a good night from Mark from Coventry. Adam.
Good night, everyone. Thanks for listening. No, I've got no one to talk to now.
You have?
We've got one more person, the main man himself.
Good night from Chris.
And it's a good night from me. Good night.
Keep right on.
Good
Keep
night.
on, everyone.
Good night from the bucket as well.
Well, give us, it's still, early days. We've got a gel, haven't we? Start of a new season and all that.
And it's good night from Mark. Well, actually, good night from Mark Meredith on the shout box.
Mark, that's
Who?
That's superb.
She's got left in prison, Mark.
No. It was a bloody good show, that was.
When we edit you out, it will be.
No. Remember what we said about a new broom? Clean sweep.
Are we still